It's 4:42 here at the Kosel, which is the time of Alosa Shachar. It's the most powerful time, one of the most powerful times of the whole day, because it's the time we reach the darkest point. The darkness of the night is increasing and increasing and increasing. And when we hit Alosa Shachar, it's the darkest point. And at that point, when things are so dark, when it looks like there's no hope, and when it's so difficult, at that point, it's exactly when the light starts. And this is what the Ramban says. Ramban writes that Yeshua always comes when you hit that point. As Rav Chaz Kalevichin explains in the Sefer Hamuna, you hit that point where it's so dark that you come to a clear recognition that there's absolutely no hope with natural means to solve this situation. There's no way. It's too complicated. It's too intricate. It's too not explainable according to natural means. There's no way. I have no hope. At that point, that's the point when Hashem brings Yeshua. Hashem brings Yeshua when you come to that clarity. And why is that? Because that was the whole point of the Nisoyim. The whole point of the Nisoyim was to bring you to that point. The whole point of Hashem bringing you the tzara was to come to that clarity that only can solve it. When you came to that clarity, so then you don't need the Nisoyim anymore. And this is Alosa Shachar. This is the darkest point. Right? I'm here at the coastal. It's full of lights and full of people saying slichos and full of tefillas. Yeah. At the same time, it's Alosa Shachar. It's the darkest point of the night. And in the history of Klal Yisrael, we're in a dark point. We've been through thousands of years of history, and it's almost 2,000 years since the Churban Abayis, and we still haven't seen Yeshua yet. And we're still waiting. And we're still going through difficulties every single day. But we have to keep in our mind with absolute clarity this concept that the whole point is to reach the point. The point is to reach the point. Yeah. Reach that point of clarity in absolute darkness. Pitch black. The darkest point that's possible to get to. It's not possible to get to a darker point in the night than Alosa Shachar. And it's all a mashal, it's all an analogy. The whole point for Nisoyan was to get us to that point. To get us to that recognition that it is hopeless without Hashem. And when we got there, so then we don't need the Nisoyan anymore. I was just speaking to my friend here at the Koisel, of Segel, and from New York, and he was reminding me something that Rav Sternbach told me, that when a person davens, he can daven 40 days at the Koisel, or other methodologies, as we'll explain in the upcoming shir. But the most important thing is to cry. He said all the tefillahs pale vis-a-vis the tears that a person has when he recognizes the futility of his situation. How does a person come to tears? It's this that we're saying now. When a person realizes that how futile the situation is, how difficult it is, how unsolvable it is, this recognition is meant to bring him to tears. It's supposed to come face to face with himself and realize that there's no hope under natural means. There's no hope using the traditional sources and conduits and ishtadlus that are used. I only have one source of hope, and that's the Borei Olam. And when a person comes to this powerful recognition, it's almost like an explosion. It's almost like a ray of light that just entered his life, and a clarity. And that explosion should be an explosion of tears. Because when you realize there's absolutely nothing that I could do. I could do this, I could do that, I could do the other. But it's all not going to work. Because that's not the point. The point of the sickness is not to find the best doctor. The point of the poverty is not to get the best job. The point of the problems in Shalom Bayis is not to go to therapy. And the point of children going in the wrong direction is not to speak to a counselor or a guy or whatever. Right? That's not the point. They're all important things that you should do, but it's not the goal. The goal is to come to a complete clarity of Eino Milvado, that only Hashem runs things. And when a person hits that point of light, as the Ramban explains, yeah, when you get to that point of darkness where it's so dark that you're just like almost terrified and almost want to like just scream out, Hashem, I have no hope except for you. Please help me. When you get to that point, then that's the point of Yeshua. That's the point that Hashem meant to bring you to. That was the whole point of the difficulty. And it's a very powerful moment, and it's meant to bring a person to tears. Hashem should help us in His infinite mercy, because as infinitely merciful as He is, He wants us to recognize the truth. And recognizing truth is not a simple state. Recognizing the truth means breaking a person's self, breaking his understanding that there's some element of Yeshua in his hands. And only when he comes to that complete severance and break will Yeshua comes. He has to do the shtadlus, he has to go to the doctors, whatever it means, and at the same time recognize that it does nothing at all. It's all in Hashem's hands. In Hashem's great mercy and infinite kindness and wisdom, we should all be zeiche to Yeshua Gedela and see the light in the darkness. We come, each and every one of us, we come to our Los Shachar. And as Esther said, right? Esther said, Eli, Eli, lama zavtani, racham yeshuasi. Racham yeshuasi. Eli, Eli, lama zavtani, divrei shagasi. Racham yeshuasi, divrei shagasi. She is the quintessential Los Shachar. Trapped, taken to the king's palace of a non-Jew, subjugated, and taken away from everything. And she teaches us, when you hit that darkest point, when it looks like there's absolutely no hope, that's where Hashem wants you to be, in that recognition. It's the whole point of the Nisoyin, is to raise your recognition. When you hit that point of recognition, then you've hit the Yeshua, you've hit the lights. It's now the transition point from the darkness to the light. Hashem should help every one of us to reach that point in our lives and that clarity. And B'ezrat Hashem, each and every one of us to be zocheh to the Yeshuas that we need. Amen. Kein Tiratzon.